Live from New Delhi, you're watching DD India Live, India's voice to the world. I'm Preeti Kaur. Coming up in the next 30 minutes. India's Kashmir gets Indian Railways connectivity with rest of India. Vande Bharat trains run on Chenab Bridge from Srinagar to Katra and back from today. UK Foreign Secretary David Lammy will arrive in New Delhi today. Will meet Prime Minister, External Affairs Minister and Commerce and Industry Minister. Focus on strengthening bilateral ties. US-China officials will meet in London on 9th of June to discuss a trade deal. Trump says Beijing agreed to let rare earth minerals flow to Washington. Remark follows rare call between two leaders. In the French Open Final 2025, in men's singles, Sinner downs Djokovic to reach the maiden final, while in women's singles, Aryna, Sabalenka and Coco Gauff set for a showdown clash in Roland Garros showpiece event later today. And Muslims worldwide celebrate Eid Aza. Sacred occasion symbolizes devotion, selflessness and compassion. The first Vande Bharat Express train between Katra and Srinagar route began its journey on Saturday, a day after Prime Minister Narendra Modi flagged off two trains connecting Katra with Srinagar. Passengers excitedly boarded the train for the inaugural ride. Currently, two pairs of Vande Bharat Express trains were introduced on the Srinagar to Katra to Srinagar route. The semi-high-speed trains will operate 6 days a week, reducing the travel time between Srinagar and Katra to just 3 hours. This is a significant step in enhancing railway infrastructure in Jammu and Kashmir. A journey to remember and a big boost to connectivity in the Union Territory of Jammu and Kashmir. Prime Minister Narendra Modi, in a historic visit, inaugurated the world's highest railway arch bridge, Chenab Rail Bridge, India's first cable-stayed rail bridge, Anji Bridge, and flagged off two Vande Bharat Express trains from Sri Mata Vaishno Devi Katra to Srinagar and back. Today, we show you the highlights of the memorable visit.
माता वैष्णो देवी के आशीर्वाद से आज वादी कश्मीर भारत के रेल नेटवर्क से जुड़ गई। उधमपुर, श्रीनगर, बारामूला, ये रेल लाइन प्रोजेक्ट ये सिर्फ नाम नहीं है, ये जम्मू कश्मीर के नए सामर्थ्य की पहचान है। भारत के नए सामर्थ्य का जयघोष है। चिनाब ब्रिज दुनिया का सबसे ऊंचा रेलवे आर्च ब्रिज है। हमारा अंजी ब्रिज भी इंजीनियरिंग का बेहतरीन नमूना है। ये प्रोजेक्ट पूरा करना मुश्किल था, चुनौतीपूर्ण था, लेकिन हमारी सरकार ने चुनौती को ही चुनौती देने का रास्ता चुना है। ये दिखाता है विकसित भारत का सपना जितना बड़ा है उतना ही बुलंद हमारा हौसला है, हमारा सामर्थ्य है।
Defence Minister Rajnath Singh has laid out Government of India's new position of zero tolerance and of assured retaliation against Pak-sponsored terrorism. Highlighting India's stand on terrorism, Rajnath Singh has written an article in India's national daily, Times of India. He has said that terrorism is a scourge on humanity. It thrives on misguided notions of revolution, martyrdom, and a romanticized view of violence. The assertion that one man's terrorist is another man's freedom fighter is a dangerous misnomer. True freedom can never be built on fear and bloodshed. The currency of terrorism is fear, yet even in spreading fear, they have failed to instill any sense of pessimism. India is testimony to this fact, whether it's 26/11 or the 2001 Parliament attack or the recent Pahalgam attack. India stands taller, stronger and more resolute than ever. Singh also called for a clear global definition of terrorism and urged freezing the finances of terrorist groups and their state sponsors. He warned of Pakistan glorifying terrorists, risking nuclear weapons misuse. Singh urged unified global condemnation of terrorism and widespread cooperation to eliminate it. Meanwhile, India's global outreach on Operation Sindur is now in its final leg. Out of the 7 multi-party delegations carrying the message of India's principled and resolute stand against terrorism, 5 delegations have now returned after concluding their successful visit to respective countries. In Washington, D.C., Shashi Tharoor's delegation engaged in candid conversation with members of the U.S. Congress, U.S. government, think tank and intelligentsia, as well as members of the American Press Corps at a reception hosted by the ambassador. He thanked the leaders for their warm presence and said that their active contributions to advancing India-US partnership are deeply valued. Tharoor also attended a lively session with Washington-based media at the National Press Club in D.C., moderated by Indian-American Treasurer Poonam Sharma. The issues taken up were related to Operation Sindur and India's actions against terrorism. The Indian parliamentary delegation also held productive meeting with Senator Chris Van Hollen, member of the U.S. Senate Foreign Relations Committee. The delegation briefed him on the heinous terrorist attack in Pahalgam, discussed India's subsequent Operation Sindur and put forth India's firm resolve to counter cross-border terrorism in all its forms. The senator sympathized with the victims of repeated terror attack in India and said that the U.S. stands with India in the fight against terrorism and also expressed support for India's right to defend itself. The delegation led by Shashi Tharoor also had a warm and candid conversation with U.S. Deputy Secretary of State Christopher Landau. The Indian delegation briefed him as well on the atrocities of the Pahalgam terror attack and Operation Sindur. Later, Tharoor also held a warm and productive telephonic conversation with Senator Cory Booker, member of the U.S. Senate Foreign Relations Committee. He briefed him on the monstrous terror attack in Pahalgam. He also outlined the repeated provocations of terrorism emanating from across the border. He laid out the details of Operation Sindur and also emphasized on India's firm resolve in countering any future acts of terrorism. Senator Booker unequivocally condemned terrorism and expressed sympathy with the victims. The conversation also touched upon broader themes in the India-US strategic partnership, which enjoys robust support. Meanwhile, the all-party delegation led by Ravi Shankar Prasad will arrive from Belgium later today. British Foreign Secretary David Lammy will pay a 2-day visit to India beginning Saturday to review the bilateral ties in areas of trade as well as defence and security. Lammy will hold wide-ranging talks with his Indian counterpart, Dr. S. Jaishankar, and is scheduled to call on Prime Minister Narendra Modi. The British Foreign Secretary will also meet Commerce Minister Piyush Goyal. Lammy's visit to New Delhi comes over a month after the two countries finalized an ambitious free trade agreement. The Indian side is expected to raise the issue of cross-border terrorism from Pakistan with the British Foreign Secretary. World Food Safety Day is being observed today, a global awareness initiative that highlights the critical importance of safe food in ensuring good health, promoting food security and fostering economic prosperity. The theme this year is Food Safety, Science in Action, and it draws attention to the use of scientific knowledge as key to reducing illness, cutting costs and saving lives. Science is at the heart of food safety and it helps us understand what makes food unsafe and guides us on how to prevent foodborne diseases. By focusing on science, the 2025 theme encourages evidence-based policy making and reinforces the idea that safe food saves lives. On the occasion of the World Food Safety Day, India's Health and Family Welfare Minister JP Nadda will deliver the keynote address and also unveil key initiatives in the event centered on Stop Obesity by Eating Safe and Healthy in Bengaluru. In good news coming in from the northeast part of the country, the Assam flood situation is improving, with flood-affected victims being reduced to 14.4 lakh in 18 districts. The IMD has issued yellow alerts for Tripura, Mizoram, Nagaland, Manipur. Heavy rainfall is likely at isolated places over Nagaland, Manipur and Mizoram, and also Tripura. As per the latest ASDMA report, 5 rivers are flowing above the danger level. The receding of flood waters has reduced the number of villages affected to around 1,296. Sribhumi remains the worst affected district, with 2.1 lakh people being affected, followed by Hailakandi with 1.2 lakh people affected, and then Kachar with 70,000 population affected. No fresh deaths have been reported, keeping the death toll to 16 now. Over 2.96 lakh animals are facing the brunt of the reeling floods. The SDRF, DDRF, Inland and Water Transport, Fire and Emergency Services, local administration offices are carrying out rescue operations relentlessly. On Friday, 84 medical teams were deployed, with Kachar alone setting up 65 teams. The SDRF teams rescued over 30 people through 22 boats that were deployed in the state. Chief Minister Dr. Himanta Biswa Sarma visited flood-hit areas, including relief camps in Hailakandi and Sribhumi districts on Friday. He reviewed the prevailing flood condition with district administration and other line departments, and also assured the affected people of all government help to quickly restore normalcy once the flood water recedes. The Chief Minister also directed District Commissioners Sribhumi and Hailakandi to ensure emergency supply of all essentials. Moving on to Sikkim, where marking an important step in the ongoing relief efforts. In the first sortie of the day, Indian Air Force's Mi-17 helicopter started transporting essential supplies to Chaten. The helicopter carried 1,300 kilograms of relief material and 5 officials from the Food and Civil Supplies Department. Also, the same aircraft would be transporting army personnel from Chaten to Pakyong Greenfield Airport. From isolation to integration, the northeastern part of India has witnessed a decade of transformation. Prime Minister's Act East policy is unleashing the northeast's potential as India's gateway to Asia. Peace in this part of the country is turning the conflict zones into development hubs. DD India's correspondent Vishal Baristo gets us this report on 11 years of Modi governance and the northeastern region of India.
The Northeast region is now a gateway to the Southeast Asia. Hill states like Nagaland have now become more accessible by a continuously increasing train network.
Nagaland is a hill state. You have railway had in Dimapur more than 100 years ago. Then it has come to the next station, and the railway station is coming to the capital Kohima. So this year also we are opening to one station, and 4 lane has reached Kohima, and then it will go its way to Imphal, and that is the route to look East policy, and the East policy is in action, and that is declared as National Highway, Trans Highway to Southeast Asia.
The drastic change in the northeastern region has been the result of a decisive leadership at the centre.
There has been a complete paradigm shift in the attention that's given to the northeast, in terms of the thought process, in terms of the financial investments, the development. So from all levels, there has been a huge change. Starts off with the Honorable Prime Minister himself, who has come more than 70 times to the Northeast in the last 11 years. More than 700 visits by different ministers of the Government of India have been made to Northeast.
But that is not all. To make Northeast AI ready, A blueprint of skill development has already been finalized. Once a frontier region of the country, the northeastern region has now become a treasure trove of opportunities. Vishal Baristo's report for DD India.
Today marks 11 remarkable years of transformation in India's farming sector under Prime Minister Modi's leadership. Be it PM Kisan Samman Nidhi, per drop more crop, ENAM or Agri-Infrastructure Fund, these revolutionary initiatives have empowered crores of farmers with direct support, modern technology and market access, shifting the narrative from survival to self-reliance. Darshan Rana, Chairman and Managing Director of Rana Group, lauded the remarkable economic transformation India has witnessed under 11 years of Prime Minister Narendra Modi's leadership. He highlighted the shift in India's economic landscape, describing it as a drastic and determined leap towards self-reliance.
I saw many changes in this government, the way they have reformed and the economic development, social welfare in 11 years. We have so drastically changed in the economy as well as the controls on the systems. The way economy has grown from 10th position to 4th position today, it's a miracle. No normal person can do. So the growth in GDP and the revolution in the GST and Make in India programs, Digital India programs make our country very efficient.
Suyash Gupta, Director General of the Indian Auto LPG Coalition, praised 11 years of Prime Minister Narendra Modi's leadership in India, calling it a time of real impact and transformative leadership. He highlighted how the Modi government has consistently turned challenges into opportunities, creating systems that touch the everyday lives of millions.
As we mark 11 years of Shri Narendra Modi ji's leadership as the Prime Minister of India, we are not just reflecting on a timeline. We are witnessing the transformation of a nation. These 11 years have been about speed, scale and self-confidence. They have seen governance that is bold, decisive and deeply rooted in the ethos of Sabka Saath, Sabka Vikas, Sabka Vishwas or Sabka Prayas. From ensuring financial inclusion through Jan Dhan Yojana to bringing dignity to millions through Swachh Bharat Abhiyan. From launching the world's largest health assurance scheme, Ayushman Bharat, to rolling out Digital India that has empowered even the remotest corners. This is governance that is not limited to announcing schemes. It delivers impact.
Srija Akula, India's women's table tennis player, lauds Prime Minister Narendra Modi's leadership. The young sports star specifically praised Operation Sindur. She also spoke about the broader impact of Prime Minister Modi's 11-year leadership, noting how young athletes today feel more supported and empowered.
As Prime Minister, Shri Narendra Modi completes 11 years in office, India's transformation is evident. The government's unwavering support for sports has led to initiatives like Khelo India scheme. On the strategic front, Operation Sindur marked a significant milestone. In response to the April 22nd terror attack in Pahalgam, India launched a swift and decisive operation targeting terrorist infrastructure in Pakistan, showcasing India's commitment to safeguarding its citizens.
Up next, we are heading for a short break. Stay with us. Welcome back after the break. In a significant diplomatic move, US President Donald Trump announced a new round of trade talks with China set for Monday in London following a call with Chinese President Xi Jinping. China is unlikely to loosen its grip on the export of rare earths needed to manufacture electric vehicles, fighter jets and microchips, despite the call between President Donald Trump and Chinese leader Xi Jinping on Thursday. The scheduled talks mark the second round of negotiations since Trump initiated a trade war with sweeping tariffs this year. The talks, involving U.S. Treasury Secretary Scott Bessent, Commerce Secretary Howard Lutnick, and Trade Representative Jamieson Greer, aim to ease tensions between the world's two largest economies. Donald Trump, via his Truth Social platform, posted about the talks, saying that the meeting should go very well. Last month's Geneva talks led to a temporary tariff reduction, with U.S. duties on Chinese goods dropping to 30% and China's to 10%. However, with the truce nearing its August expiration and Trump accusing China of violating terms, stakes seem high. A dramatic rift between U.S. President Donald Trump and billionaire Elon Musk is sending political and economic shockwaves internationally. Once allies, the two are now publicly feuding after Musk slammed Trump's massive spending bill as an abomination. Trump retaliated by threatening to cancel Musk's lucrative government contracts, including NASA-linked SpaceX deals. Though Trump downplayed the feud on Friday, calling Musk a man who has lost his mind, he hinted at reviewing billions in federal subsidies Musk's companies receive. Tesla shares plunged 14% on Thursday but rebounded partially on Friday amid efforts to cool tensions. Meanwhile, U.S. President Donald Trump said that he was too busy working on international issues to be thinking about tech billionaire Elon Musk following their public falling out.
Honestly, I've been so busy working on China, working on Russia, working on Iran, working on somebody, I'm not thinking about it.
Muslims worldwide are celebrating their second holiest festival, Eid Aza, also known as Eid al-Zoha or Bakrid today. Scores of devotees thronged the historic Jama Masjid to offer prayers and celebrate Eid al-Aza. Dressed in traditional attire, worshippers came together in a spirit of devotion, unity and celebration. As one of the most significant celebrations in the Islamic calendar, it honors the unwavering faith and devotion of Prophet Ibrahim and marks the end of the annual Hajj pilgrimage. But beyond its religious significance, Eid al-Azha is also a moment to strengthen bonds with family, friends, colleagues and loved ones. In Ajmer city of Rajasthan, people gathered in large numbers on the occasion of Eid. They offered prayers and exchanged greetings of peace and goodwill. The Balnoi Battalion of the Indian Army organized the Eid al-Azha celebrations and joined local civilians in marking the occasion in the Balnoi area of Mindhar sector, located in Jammu and Kashmir's Poonch district. Let's talk of sports now. In French Open Final 2025, world number 1 Jannik Sinner defeated record-chasing Novak Djokovic 6-4, 7-5, 7-6 in a clash of generations on Friday to set up a blockbuster final showdown with the defending champion Carlos Alcaraz. Playing a younger, modern version of himself, the 38-year-old Djokovic looked every bit his age as Sinner used his blistering forehand to send the Serbian chasing the ball left, right and centre. The Italian will face a sterner test in Sunday's final against Alcaraz, who advanced when his semi-final opponent Lorenzo Musetti retired injured at the beginning of the fourth set. While the French Open women's singles final takes centre stage at Roland Garros on Saturday, world number 1 Aryna Sabalenka of Belarus will take on last year's semi-finalist American Coco Gauff, as she looks to land her first French Open crown to add to her 3 Grand Slam titles. Long considered a hard-court specialist, the 27-year-old top seed Sabalenka, the most powerful player on the tour, will try to establish herself as an all-rounder with her first title in Paris. A finalist here in 2022, Gauff is also looking for her first singles crown in Paris. A drone light show focused on marine life lit up the skies in Nice in France on Friday ahead of the 2025 UN Ocean Conference. The conference, co-hosted by France and Costa Rica, will run from June 9th till June 13th and will be centered around accelerating action and mobilizing all actors to conserve and sustainably use the oceans, according to the UN. With that, we end this edition of DD India Live. But let us know your thoughts on the news of the day. For those of you on the go, you can get all the latest news and updates from India and across the world on the DD India mobile app. This app is available on both Android and iOS platforms, and you can download the respective QR codes. We'll be back with more news as it breaks here on DD India. I'm Preeti Kaur signing off, and from all of us here in Delhi, thanks for watching DD India Live.